My beloved child, this is the last time I call out to you. Leave now, because that land is beginning to tremble under my hand. The false whispers, the distortions of truth, the masks bearing the name of light are revealing their true faces. You no longer have time to hesitate. I am stepping in, not in silence but in power, not to punish but to defend, not to abandon but to awaken the greatness I have placed within you. I left you in that place not because it is where you belong, but because you were not yet ready to face the greatness I am about to bestow. I remained silent through your tears, not because I turned my back, but because I was using that very pain to drive deep and unshakable roots into your soul. And when all seemed to fall apart, when every door slammed shut, that was the moment I began to unveil a new chapter, and the trembling was only its beginning. I did not stop the slander. I did not instantly remove the obstacles. You thought I ignored you, but no, I was waiting for your heart to remain steadfast in the quiet. I knew that in the long nights you asked me, Lord, where are you? And I was still there watching every step as you trudged through the mire, not to destroy you, but to etch within you a strength that no one could take away. If I removed the trials too soon, you would never understand the endurance of faith. If I lifted you out of the darkness the moment you cried, you would never discover the light within yourself. I do not shape you through ease. I mold you through the cracks, through the unseen tears, through the failures the world calls worthless. But I see them, and I am marking every one of those moments to use for a greater purpose. Now you are different, not because you know more, but because you have endured longer. Not because you won the battle, but because you did not give up. In the stillness I inscribed authority into you. Through pain I gave you discernment. You are no longer merely one who endures, you have become a silent warrior forged by my own hand. And now is the time I lead you into a new season, not to survive, but to influence. You do not understand why I allowed you to remain in the cramped room of misunderstanding, delay, and even betrayal. You cried out, you shouted in your heart, if God loves me, why doesn't he rescue me from this pain? But my arms have always been outstretched. It is only that I did not lift you out of the pit immediately. For if I had, you would never learn how to withstand the strong winds when no one is beside you. I did not make you to be weak in a safe zone, but to stand firm in the true battlefield. I have seen how you silently swallowed the bitter words, how you tried to smile when your heart was breaking. You thought I paid no attention, but in truth I recorded every time you chose silence for the sake of justice, every time you chose forgiveness when you could have unleashed your anger. I missed nothing, my beloved. Just as gold is refined only through fire, your soul must be molded through pain to shine at the appointed time I have set. As the scripture says, the Lord disciplines the one he loves as a father, the son in whom he delights. Proverbs 3:1-2. You often think that the bad things happen because you did something wrong, that I am punishing you. But no, my child. I am not a petty God who keeps score of faults to take revenge. I am a father, and a father longs to see his child grow, not stay comfortable forever. What you call pain, I call school. What you call delay, I see as preparation. For if I granted you every desire, the moment you asked your soul would be as fragile as a house built on sand. Remember the times I rescued you from the blade of others, not by stopping them, but by teaching you how not to be wounded by them. I did not calm the wind, but I made you stronger. I did not quench the fire, but I made you unburnable within it. Every voice raised against you, I heard them all, but I waited for you to learn to stand, not with fists, but with silence anointed from heaven. And it is in that stillness that you became someone I can trust to carry a great mission. Now when you look back, acknowledge this truth: you are not who you once were. The wounds no longer bleed. The dreams are no longer distant, they burn quietly within your heart. Innocence has given way to wisdom, yet your heart remains tender, and that is the most precious thing in my eyes. I have completed a part of my work in you, and now it is time I shake everything around you to make way for what I will do next. You are no longer simply an endurer. You have been forged into a silent, courageous, and steadfast warrior. My child, do not let your heart be drawn back to the old place simply because the winds are calmer there. I did not call you to survive, I called you to reign. And to do that, you must be grateful for the days of being forgotten, the moments of being misunderstood, the roads walked alone. For from here you will not walk alone. I am leading you into the next shaking, where the old shells will be stripped away and the light within you will begin to blaze. You often think that chaos is proof of failure, that when everything collapses around you, you have gone the wrong way. But no, my child. That is not failure, that is when I step in. The shaking does not come to push you out of my will, it comes to topple what was never built by my hand. False structures, twisted alliances, places called holy but hiding greed, they cannot stand when I decide to shake. I do not need storms to punish, I use storms to purify. I have allowed you to remain too long in a decaying system where my name is exploited, where light is mingled with darkness. But I am pure light, I do not compromise. And because I love you, I will not allow you to anchor yourself to something merely because it appears good. When the quake comes, the masks will fall, the false altars will burn, and only what is truly founded in me will remain. As Scripture says, I will once more shake not only the earth but also the heavens, so that what cannot be shaken may remain. Hebrews 1:2-6:27. You ask why so many things are falling away at once. Because I am pruning. I am clearing the way. I am delivering you from things you do not know are holding you captive. There are relationships I am breaking, not to wound you but to save you from hidden traps. There are doors I am closing, though you pound on them in tears, because behind them lies a cliff. And there are people leaving without explanation because I whispered to them in the night. Your part in this one's story is over. Do not mistake disruption for abandonment. Do not confuse collapse with defeat. My child, if I did not shake everything, you would continue to build on sand, and one day you would be swept away. I do not tear down to harm you. I tear down to rebuild on an unshakable foundation. The noise around you, the slander, the misunderstandings, all are part of the symphony I allow to play to distinguish what is from me and what is not. You need not answer them all, only stand still and know that I am God. This is no accident. This is strategy. I am rearranging the pieces. I am confounding the language of the enemy, as I did at Babel, scattering their schemes. I am dissolving dark alliances at the very moment they think they have triumphed. This shaking, though fearful, is clearing the way for my public intervention. While others fall in the chaos, you will stand not because you are strong, but because you have learned to root yourself in what cannot be moved. I do not need you to understand everything. I only need you to believe. When the ground beneath you trembles, remember that I warned you. Hold fast to what I taught you in the secret place. Look up, not down. For in the very moment, all seems shattered. I am positioning you to see more clearly the great plan I am preparing, and that is why you must leave the old place, because it cannot contain what I am about to pour into your life. Do not resist the stripping, my child, for it is not punishment, it is preparation. Before I enlarge the space, I always begin by removing what no longer fits. I know you have clung to some things as though they were breath itself, habits, people, patterns, old ways of thinking. But if I do not cut them away, they will choke you in that cramped place. That is why before I give the promised land, I always lead my people through the wilderness, not to punish, but to purify. Do you remember the story of Jonah, the one I called to preach to Nineveh, but in fear and defiance he went the opposite way? And I, instead of abandoning him, sent a storm and eventually used the belly of a great fish to hide him. That was stripping away. I took from him control, self-determination, even light, so he would know that the darkest place is not where I abandon, but where I begin to remake. Those 3 days in darkness were not the end, but the starting point for the expansion of my kingdom. I am doing the same in your life, my beloved. I see you trying to cling to what once was useful, though now it has become chains. There are roles you once filled, well, positions once praised, but now I am pulling you out. Not because you have failed, but because you have finished your mission there. Your pride aches at being stripped, but your soul will be enlarged because of it. I do not keep you in garments that have grown too small. I am tailoring you a new robe, not to fit your past, but to hold the future I have prepared. If you let your heart linger on the glorious days of the past, you will miss the living waters I am pouring out now. The familiar seats can become dangerous if you stay there too long. Remember I told Lot and his family to leave Sodom. but his wife, unable to let go of what she once had, was turned into a pillar of salt when she looked back. Do not let your heart freeze in regret. I am doing a new thing, and to step into it, you must lay the old down. Not everything I remove is because it is bad. There are things I take away simply because they no longer serve what is to come. I know it was once a place of safety for you, once a source of pride. But just as a seed must die in the soil to give birth to a new tree, you too must let the old die. Trust me, I do not destroy, I prepare. The stripping is painful, only until you realize it is the foundation for a wider, deeper, more abundant land. You are in a season of transition. Old roots are being pulled up. Old walls are being dismantled. Not to leave you adrift, but to move you. I will not keep you confined when your heart has outgrown the frame. I am not the cause of your restlessness. You have simply outgrown the place that once felt safe, and that is a good sign. This stripping, if you endure it in obedience, will be the key that unlocks the next door, where I will make you stand firm in an expansion you never dared to dream of. I know there are things you have lost that you still grieve in silence. Opportunities that slipped away, dreams you thought were buried, relationships you believed would walk with you to the end. You call it loss, but I call it investment. For nothing you have surrendered to me, not even your silent tears, will be wasted. You think I have forgotten, but I have stored every hidden sob as gold in an eternal treasury, and I will return it not only in the right time, but in the right season, when you have the strength to reap and to hold the abundance. Do you remember Job? The man I allowed to be stripped of everything, wealth, children, health, friends, not to destroy him, but to prove to the world the worth of pure faith. Job did not understand the reason, yet he did not abandon his faithfulness. And in what seemed to be his end, I rebuilt him, not as before, but double. As the scripture says, the Lord restored Job's fortunes and gave him twice as much as he had before. Job 4:2-10. I am still doing that, not only for Job, but for every child of mine who stands firm through the trial. I do not return things to you merely for fairness. I return them so my glory may be displayed in overflowing measure. The enemy thought it had stolen something from you forever. But in that very darkness I am at work. I am redrawing the path. I am weaving a tapestry you cannot yet see in full. When the time comes, I will reveal the blessing in a way no one, not even you, could have imagined. And what will silence those who once mocked, you will not be your retaliation, but my public faithfulness upon your life. You thought what you lost was a sign that I had turned my face away. But the truth is, what you lost was to make room for something greater. A relationship died so that a covenant could be born. A position was taken so that a clearer calling could take its place. I am unlocking doors once sealed by wounds, once shut tight by prejudice, once strangled by fear. And when I open them, no one can shut them. This is not a reward for perfection, but the fruit of steadfastness in the dark. I will restore what was stolen from you, not so that you can live in a recovered past, but so that you can walk in an expanded and overflowing future. Do not limit me with your memories. Do not imagine blessing as the old coming back. No, my child, I am the one who makes all things new. I am not calling you back to the old place. I am leading you into a new land where you will see clearly your faithfulness in the valley was the invitation into the lush meadow. Prepare your heart. Clear out the bitterness, for your cup is about to overflow. Abundance is not for the heart that is not forgiven. Increase cannot dwell in a mind still clouded with doubt. I am pouring out not in drops, but in a great rain. Rain of restoration, rain of healing, rain of opportunity, rain of love. And that rain is moving toward you. The only thing you must do is this: do not look toward what was lost, but open your hands to receive what has never been. Now that everything has changed, now that the old land can no longer hold you, I say this to you: do not go back to being who you once were, for you are no longer that person. You have passed through fire. You have crossed the fields of silence and delay. You have stood in the midst of ruins without being ruined. And because of this, I place in your hands a weight. Not everyone can bear a mission beyond self, beyond age, beyond even your own imagination. I am not leading you into the new land just to reward you. I am bringing you there to unlock destinies for those who never dared to dream. The steps you take will touch souls no one notices. The words you speak will shatter curses that have shadowed generations. Your faithfulness today is cutting off cycles of failure in your family, in your community, and the land you are standing on. Just as I used Moses, the one who trembled before kings, to lead my people out of Egypt, so now I am using you to open the way for another people. Though they may not know your name, they will know who brought them freedom. Do not despise your smallness. Do not let past rejection convince you that you are unworthy. My glory does not require the perfect, it requires the obedient. I do not choose by glamour, I choose by willingness. And you answered in the dark when no one saw. You obeyed when no one applauded. That is what makes you worthy to walk boldly, not to lift up your own name, but to proclaim mine to generations yet unborn. I know there are moments you want to withdraw, to hide your gift in silence, fearing it will be mistaken for pride. But my child, true humility is not denying my grace, it is using it to serve in the right place for the right people at the right time. Hiding the light for fear of offending others is not humility, it is fear. And I have not placed my spirit in you so you can live in fear. As Paul reminded, for God has not given us a spirit of timidity, but of power, love, and self-discipline. 2 Timothy 1:7. Go forth, speak out, build, tear down, heal, restore, ignite, not by your own strength, but by the power of the one who is within you. Every step you take now is part of the strategy I have laid out. Every person you touch now is a seed I am planting through your life. Remember, I have not called you for a season, I have called you for a lineage. You are the beginning, not the finished product. You are the foundation, not merely an inheritor. And my beloved child, do not forget the fierce battle you have endured was no accident. It is proportional to your influence in my kingdom. The enemy does not attack those who sleep, it attacks those who carry fire. And you I have set aflame, so walk boldly. For what I am doing through your life will continue to burn, to spread, to multiply, until every word I have spoken is fulfilled, not only in your lifetime, but in the spiritual lineage you have yet to see. The moment you have longed for it is no longer a distant promise. It is no longer trapped in the hazy pages of an imagined future. It is happening right now. Every word I have spoken, every whisper in your loneliest hour, every reminder I have given you in your dreams is now unfolding in the most unexpected setting, a great shaking. But my child, for the new to come, the old must go. I know this tightens your chest, makes you bury your face in your hands, and ask, is everything falling apart? No, child, not everything is breaking, only what can no longer hold. The glory that is coming is being removed. And in this very breaking, you are being set free. I have not come to patch up a decaying system, I have come to dismantle it and build an entirely new order. I hear your silent sobs, the uneven beat of your heart when you see doors close, sometimes suddenly, sometimes quietly, as though they never existed. The bonds you thought were eternal, the handshakes you thought unbreakable, the promises to walk together to the end, now scattered like a silent wind. But do not let regret bind your feet. What I cut away is not to punish you, but to protect you from invisible chains you cannot see with the natural eye. Some connections may have looked like blessings at first, but within them were depletion, manipulation, and flames that quietly burned your soul. You have been weary without knowing why. You have awakened each day with a heavy heart, unable to name the pain. Those very ties have worn down your spirit, blurred your vision, and made you unable to hear my call. So I have answered you, not with a dazzling miracle, but with a quiet release. You are not alone in this journey. When people drift away, when voices of support fall silent, you will see what you never dared face before. True rising does not come from the crowd, but from the courage to stand alone. Do not be surprised when those who once patted your back turn away as you step into true glory, for real light will always unsettle the darkness. And right now I am opening your eyes to see who is truly with you and who was only near when you posed no disruption. Watch, observe, see how they react when you are lifted. Some will rejoice, these are the ones I have sent to uphold you in the new season. But others will grow silent, drift away, or feel unsettled because your rising removes their sense of control. I do not do this to wound you. I do it so you are no longer bound by the emotions of others. I do not want you to seek human permission to step into the destiny I have ordained. You are no longer living in the old season. The old garments have been removed from you. The shoes you once wore no longer fit your current steps. The outdated mindsets, the hollow religious forms, the teachings that sound wise yet lack life, they cannot walk with you into the future. I am doing something new, something without precedent, without system, without record, because it is reserved for those who obey with their whole heart. You may still be asking me, how will I go on when everything familiar has been taken? I tell you this, it is precisely in the absence that you will learn to live by the strength of the Spirit, not by habit. You will no longer rely on others to define your worth. No longer will the nods of approval or the cold stares determine if you are on the right path. You will be led by the light within where I dwell. I am placing your feet upon a new path, and this path is unlike anything you have ever walked before. There will be things that are different, unfamiliar, but I promise you this, if you keep walking, I will cause the desert to bloom. I will turn stones into living water. The very things that seem to hinder you, I will use them as stepping stones for miracles. The doors that once closed on you, I will use them to show that not every door is worthy for you to enter. And when I open a door, no one will be able to shut it. Do not be surprised if there are days when you feel empty inside. Do not think that I have abandoned you simply because you can no longer hear my voice as clearly as before. Those silences are the pauses of transition, the quiet necessary between two symphonies. I am not silent because I have given up. I am letting you hear the sound of your own footsteps. For from now on, you will no longer follow the crowd. You are leading the way. You are the one I have chosen. Not because you stand out, not because you know much, and certainly not because you are more deserving than others, but because you remained when others left. Because you still believed when every piece of evidence contradicted that belief. Because you chose to be faithful in small things when there was no reward, no recognition, no one to see. And that is what qualifies you to enter the public season of anointing. Now I am blowing the wind, not the gentle breeze of comfort, but the strong wind of shifting. The wind will lift you, but it may also blow away whatever is not fastened deep within your heart. I am cleansing. I am exposing what is false. I am stripping away things that masquerade as light, not to destroy, but to reveal what is true and what is counterfeit. And when all is laid bare, I will lift you up in a way that no one can deny. Do not shrink back to make others feel comfortable. Do not hide the light because it blinds someone's eyes. Step forward not with arrogance, not in self-display, but in boldness, in my name. I am the one who has engraved your name upon the palms of my hands. I am the one who has kept you through every battle. I am the one who has led you through the dark season, and it is I who will stand with you in this season of glory. My child, do not delay any longer. What you carry in your heart is not for you alone. It is the key for those bound in chains they do not even know exist. You carry answers to questions never spoken. You carry healing for wounds that have never been named. And you are not walking alone. I go before you, I guard behind you, and my spirit dwells within you. So rise, walk, speak what I have placed in your mouth. Dare to be different. Dare to lose the world's approval in order to keep heaven's presence. Live fully in all that I have placed within you, not to glorify yourself, but to reveal me, the one who has chosen, prepared, and sent you out. For that time is now. I am shaking, I am moving, and you are stepping into the very destiny I wrote for you before the world began. You have asked me to use you. You have pleaded for your life to carry true meaning, not just to exist, but to leave an imprint in the stream of time, to rise in your generation, to not be buried in obscurity. You have cried out in loneliness and tears in the unseen nights, when no one saw you bow your face and weep. And did you think I did not hear? Did you think I stayed silent, only to forget? No, my beloved, never. I have missed not a single sigh. I have ignored not one faint thread of hope you clung to in the dark. What you call waiting, I call shaping. Those moments when you asked, Lord, when were the very times I was engraving your name into plans far greater than you imagined? And now I answer not with a lullaby, but with a summons. I have allowed the breaking. I have led you through turns that made you think you were abandoned, not to discourage you, but to dismantle hidden pride and misplaced dependence. I needed you to understand the great things in me cannot be carried by human strength alone. You cannot enter the promised land if your soul is still heavy with old baggage, unhealed wounds, illusions yet to be shattered, patterns formed by the world and not by me. I have emptied you to fill you with something purer. And now you are ready, not because you have reached perfection, but because you stayed in the process when so many gave up halfway. I have seen how you did not retreat, even when your only motivation was the fragile hope that I was still there. My child, that alone is proof enough for me to entrust you with this mission. I will open your mouth. The words once choked by fear, once trembling under the pressure of others' opinions, now will come forth in boldness. Not because you seek attention, but because I need your voice to sound at the appointed time. I will place in your heart things no one has taught, and on your lips things no one can forbid. You will speak what has never been spoken but must be spoken. For the time has come, no longer whispers in the corner, no longer bowing in the rooms of power, no longer averting your gaze before the judges. Now you will stand tall, you will speak loud, you will declare what I have long buried deep within you. And those who once despised you will sit and listen, not because they have changed, but because I have commanded their hearts to stop resisting the anointing upon you. You will no longer be alone. Companions will come, not because you search for them, but because I send them at the right moment. You do not need to push alone to build your own plans, to strain to prove your worth. You have lived long enough in the season of striving. Now comes the season of divine alignment. I will place resources in your hand at the right time, in the right way, in the right place, for I am the God who provides. And remember, provision is not only material. I will supply you with wisdom, discernment, and courage. Some doors you have feared to knock on, I will open myself. Some people you once feared, I will silence them. And some places that once opposed you, I will turn them into the very platform for your mission. The coming season is not one of struggling, but of harmony. The inner battles within you have stilled because you have learned that I work most powerfully when you let go. From now on, you will walk in lightness, not because the journey is easier, but because you have learned to let me carry the heaviest part. Everything I once removed from you will now return in another form, or rather, in its true essence you have never seen before. True friends, true dreams, true doors. I do not restore what was destroyed so you can live in nostalgia. I open new things so you can live in your eternal calling. But know this, my child, what I am about to do through you will not end with you. It will go beyond the boundaries of your personal life. It will flow into the spiritual bloodline of generations yet to be born. Children who have never seen the light of day will be set free because of your obedience today. Spiritual prisons will collapse when you speak. Toxic patterns entrenched in families for generations will break because you will not compromise like those before you. You are the breaker of curses, the one who transforms from the root. The new David standing before Goliath, not with the weapons of this world, but with faith in my name. I have chosen you not because you are the tallest, the most skilled, or the most prominent. I chose you because your heart is soft toward me, and that is what I need, a willing heart. You will not need to beat the drums. My presence within you will open the doors. Those who never knew your name will be touched by your voice, by the light in your eyes, by the steadiness in your steps. You do not need to explain who you are, I will affirm you. And know this, as you walk, it will not be only you who is delivered, a multitude is following you without your knowledge. They are watching you even in silence. They are being drawn toward the light, even if they do not understand why. And this is what terrifies the darkness most, that if one person dares to rise, an entire generation will begin to awaken. So my child, fear no more. Do not shrink back to make others comfortable. Do not reject the anointing just because it makes you feel alone. Walk boldly, not because you are fully ready for everything, but because I have called. And when I call, I also go with you. This is not the end. This is the breakthrough point. A new page not only in your life's book, but in heaven's history. I am writing your name into the records of 1,000 years, not for your glory, but for mine. And I promise you this: every promise I have whispered in the secret place will now be fulfilled openly in the presence of your enemies. Rise, walk, speak, for the time has come. My child, it is time for me to tear down the tangled efforts of your own, making the endless cycles of striving without my presence. You have run too far, drawn too many maps, woven too many strategies. I have seen it all. I do not condemn you for searching for a way out, but I have compassion on you, for you have been fighting alone while I have stood waiting for you to surrender. This is my time, not your time to shine, nor your time to prove your worth. I do not need you to be enough for me to act. I need you to see that I alone am the source of all fullness. The years you carried the weight alone, planned alone, saved yourself alone, they were not wasted. They showed you the true limits of human strength. And now, when every last effort has run dry, I have room to begin. You do not need to run faster. You do not need more ideas. You do not need to expand your connections. All you need is surrender. For the doors I open are not dependent on who holds the keys. The gifts I give do not require a viable plan. You do not need to become someone else to be used. You only need to be yourself, but a self-saturated, shaped, and transformed by me. You once thought that success came from diligence, that if you worked hard enough, prayed long enough, prepared well enough, the results would follow. I am not saying that is wrong, but my child, it is time for you to learn a deeper truth. Obedience is what leads to blessing, not busyness. I do not seek children who rush about endlessly working without rest to keep me pleased. I seek souls who know how to stop, how to listen, and who are willing to step where I say, whether they understand or not. For this is no longer a battlefield where you stand alone. This is my strategy, my heavenly alignment. I do not need you to appear strong, but I need you to trust me completely. What is about to happen is not the reward for ingenuity, it is the fruit of quiet faith. And this is not to exalt you, but to reveal my glory on the earth. You have seen your own hand fail. Now you will see mine prevail. Do you remember the Red Sea? That was not the path my people chose. They were cornered. Before them was the water, behind them the enemy. No escape, no chance left. And it was at that very moment that I acted. Not earlier, not halfway through, but right when they were utterly helpless. Why? Because in that moment no one could receive the glory except me. You are standing there now. Before you is the wall of impossibility, behind you the mocking voice of the enemy. And you are about to see me part the waters again, not by the kind of power you understand, but by my supernatural might. What I am about to do will bear no trace of you in it, so that when others look upon it, they cannot say it was your skill or your luck. They will have to say, the Lord himself has done this. I do not change. I am the one who is the same yesterday, today, and forever. I still shut the mouths of lions, still walk in the blazing furnace, still rescue from the depths. But the wonder is this: I do not act from afar. I do not watch from a distance or send angels in my place. I myself step into the fire with those who are mine. You are not walking alone. You have never walked alone. You have simply been so distracted by the wind that you forgot there is a hand holding yours. My child, do not let failure blur my words. Do not let the voice of fear drown out my gentle whisper. I am not discouraged when you fall. I do not withdraw my calling when you lose your way. I do not see you as a burden because you are weak. I have seen it all: the nights you wrestled with feelings of uselessness, the times you tried to rebuild trust after being broken, the dreams you buried deep simply because you feared to hope again. I know them all. I have wept with you. I have been silent when you asked, why not because I had no answer, but because I wanted your heart to trust me before you understood me. There is a noble kind of faith, the faith that moves forward without any guarantee except my word. This is the kind of faith that made Abraham leave his homeland, that made Elijah stand before kings, that made Mary say, let it be to me according to your word. And now this same faith will cause you to step out, not because you know you will win, but because you believe I cannot fail. You must understand this. It is not you who carries the mission, but the mission that will carry you. I did not choose you because you are strong, but because you are weak, so that I may fill you completely with my strength. What I am doing through your life will reach beyond the space you know, beyond the time you live. You are rewriting a lineage not with your hands, but with your obedience. You once thought you were a survivor, but in my eyes you are a pioneer. You once thought you were a victim of circumstance, but in truth you are the one I am using to change circumstances for an entire generation. The words you speak today, the steps you take today will become pathways for children yet to be born. Every wound you carry will become a mirror reflecting healing to the broken yet to come. You may never see the full results, but that does not matter. For what I do through you is not confined to a single lifetime. It will echo across seasons, nations, and souls. And I will not let a single drop of blood, a single prayer, or a single act of faithfulness fall to the ground without bearing fruit. My beloved, now I want you to understand more than ever I am moving. Not soon. Not when you meet the standard. Not when you are more stable. But now when you feel tired, empty, powerless, disconnected, unable to turn the tide, it is in that moment that I release my power. You need only to stop open your heart and say, Lord, I cannot, but I believe you can. And I will step in. I will step into the places you have failed and rebuild. I will step into the dreams that have been suffocated and breathe new life. I will step into the smoldering doubts and place upon them a holy certainty. I will step into the barren lands and turn them into gardens of life. For this is my time, not yours. This is my strategy, not your formula. This is obedience, not busyness. This is my glory, not your performance. And you will walk not in pride, but in holy trembling, knowing that it is I who chose, who called, who equipped, and who now sends you. Go, my beloved, I am here, and I will not leave you. You belong to me. This is not a spiritual slogan or a soft comfort for hard days. It is a truth engraved into the heart of the universe, etched on the palm of my hand, marked in every breath you take, sealed upon your forehead before your first cry. You are marked not because you deserved it, but because I chose you. And because of this, the battle around you is fiercer than others have known. Because of this, hell has poured out all its force to make you give up. It is not afraid when you are weak. It is not afraid when you are silent. But it trembles when you realize whose you are. When you rise not by human strength, but by my power. When you lift your head not in arrogance, but because you know you have been redeemed by blood. When you stop merely surviving and start living with purpose. The enemy has screamed along your journey. It has whispered through broken dreams, spoken through the tongues of others, and hurled countless doubts into your mind. Yet in each of those times I have been there, not always intervening, but always watching, always waiting for the moment I know is right. And now that moment has come. My child, you are no longer crawling in ashes. You are the one I have lifted up, brushed clean of soot, clothed with new garments, and crowned with honor. What was once stolen, I will restore, not in its old form, but in a way the enemy cannot deny that I have touched it. Not to feed your pride, but to testify that I am still the faithful God, the one who begins, sustains, and completes. He will see, he will witness, and he will be silenced. My beloved, stop retaliating, for vengeance is mine, not yours. I know the injustices you have endured. I have heard the twisted words, I have seen the petty actions hidden under the guise of goodness. I have watched you be rejected, misplaced, undervalued, pushed aside from the hands of blessing that seemed meant for others. But because you did not lift yourself up, I will raise you. Because you did not defend yourself, I will be your defender before the enemy. What I am about to pour out, if you still hold on to resentment, will only become a burden. So before I give something great, I invite you to release what is old. Let go of bitterness, for it cannot coexist with abundance. Let me heal not through time, but through my touch deep within your soul. I want to pour new wine, but the wineskin you carry is old, hardened, dry. It no longer stretches. It cannot bear the pressure of what I am about to release. I will not ruin both the wine and the wineskin. So you must choose, keep the old and lose the wine, or let me remake you entirely. You ask, why must I change when it was not my fault? Because you are the one I chose. and the chosen do not live like the ordinary. The chosen must be willing to break, to be misunderstood, to be uprooted, because I am planting them in deeper, larger, harder soil, but soil that will yield more fruit. You were not saved merely to be comforted. You were saved to have impact. What I do in you is not only to heal you, but to make you a vessel of my healing for others. My child, look beyond yourself. There are those living in darkness waiting for you to step into the light so they can find the way. There are generations to come needing to hear your story of overcoming so they can have hope. There are families breaking apart whose restoration will begin because of your prayers. And for this reason, I cannot let you live an average life. I cannot let you settle where you are applauded but remain unchanged. I love you too much to keep you in a place of comfort but uselessness. So go. Step out of the shadow of safety. Do not let the past define your present steps. Do not let the memory of pain make you doubt what I am about to give. When I called Abraham, he had to leave his father's house, leave the familiar land, give up the old name to receive a promise not only for himself but for his descendants as countless as the stars. You are the same. Your obedience today is shaping the destiny of many generations. When you choose forgiveness instead of holding a grudge, a curse is being broken. When you choose faithfulness instead of compromise, a door is opening for the next generation. When you choose to speak truth in love, a prophetic word is being released. Do not underestimate the power of obedience. Do not dismiss the influence of a quiet decision. Do not think you are too small to change anything, for once again remember you belong to me. And those who belong to me do not wander aimlessly, they walk by. My word and each of their steps is recorded in heaven. My child, I know you are tired. I know you doubt yourself. I know there are times you just want to be left alone, to be at peace, to be buried in the small land of just enough, but that is not where you will end. It is only where I have hidden you while I worked on your heart. Now that place has fulfilled its purpose, and you must prepare not to guard something small, but to carry something great. The enemy once mocked you because he only saw the present, but I see from the beginning to the end. I see when you wept in the night, when you prayed without receiving an answer, when you forgave for the 100th time. I see and I never forget. I have never changed my mind. The promise still stands. The destiny still awaits. And the time is now. Walk, my child. Not loudly, not seeking recognition. Walk in the power of silence, in the sharpness of humility, in the light of obedience. Go, for you have been equipped. Go, for the ground has been shaken. Go, for my word has been spoken. And as you step out, I will step with you, not behind, not from afar, but beside you. The one who called, who kept, who will complete. Hear me, child. Listen deep into the core of your soul and hear clearly what I now say. You must not cling to what I have withdrawn my hand from. What once was a blessing, a sign of goodness, has now grown old, not because it is bad, but because it no longer fits the flow I am opening. The anointing on you is greater than the space you now stand in, and so I am moving the cloud. The pillar of fire is shifting. My grace is no longer there. And you, the one I called out of darkness, must be ready to move forward, even when you do not know where the road will lead. I know this makes your heart race. I see the fear in your eyes. You want to hold on to the old, not because it is still alive, but because it is familiar. Yet I do not shape your life around convenience. I am calling you out of the place of safety, because the promised land does not lie within your control. You have heard the sound, haven't you? The trembling is not only shaking what is outside, but also echoing deep within your own heart like a sacred drumbeat urging your soul to move forward. This is not chaos, nor is it a passing confusion. It is the call of the Holy Spirit, inviting you to step away from the old ground and toward a place your feet have never touched, where your soul will expand into the full measure of influence I appointed for you before the foundations of time. Do not misunderstand. I do not rebuke you for staying. I am patient. I wait. But now is the moment I reveal this. The place where you now stand is only a season. It is not your destiny. And every season has its end. The field where you once sowed no longer yields as it did, not because you have failed, but because the soil has given all it had for the seed you carry. I do not say you were wrong to remain here. I know this place was once a classroom, the place where I taught you to hear my voice when no one cheered for you when all the stage lights had gone out. But the season of hiddenness has been completed, and now I desire to lead you forward, not into the shadow of the old, but to the mountaintop where my glory is ready to blaze through your life. Do not conclude that I have rejected you simply because you feel unsettled. Spiritual movements always come with stretching in the mind and in the body. This is normal. Transformation is never gentle. It strips away. It touches what you thought was fixed. It breaks apart the structures you leaned on to keep yourself from collapsing. Yet it is through those cracks that new light enters. You are not being pushed out, you are being drawn in into the very center of my gravity, where all you have learned will converge, burst forth, and ignite into a power capable of reaching hearts once thought unreachable. I see you holding back your tears as the ones closest to you begin to step away. I see you trying to look composed while everything inside you is breaking. And you have asked me, am I being discarded? But I say this: no, you are not being cast aside. You are being moved. There is a vast difference between rejection and commissioning. What I remove is not part of your body. It is the invisible chains wound around your feet. What I take away is not to leave you empty, but to make room for what is coming. You have asked me to make a way. Then let me clear the way. And clearing the way begins by removing what has been in the way. Do not let regret choke you in this season of transition. Beautiful memories are not a reason to stay. Deep affections are not a reason to delay obedience. What is finished, call it by its name, finished. I am not the God of cycles. I am the God of growth, of increase, of the new. If you cling to what is dead, you cannot carry what is alive. If you keep turning back to mourn the doors that have closed, you will miss the door. I am opening the door not forged by human hands but by my own, the one who called you out of darkness. You are not lost. You are not outdated. You are not falling behind. You are exactly where I need you to feel, no longer a fit, so that you will hunger to move forward. That constriction you feel is not punishment. It is the sign that the new anointed mantle is about to be placed upon you. You are no longer the tender shoot just emerging. You are the tree that has endured winds, sunk deep roots, and stood firm when storms felled many others. And now I need you to rise boldly, to step away from the old ground, no matter how safe, comfortable, or even sacred it once was. For the new blessing cannot be contained in the old vessel. The glory that is coming cannot be held within the limits of the past. And the rising I have promised you, it cannot happen within the boundaries I am now breaking. I have not called you to be part of a placeholder generation. I have called you to make way for a transitional generation. You are the heartbeat of the new season. You are the voice crying in the wilderness. You are the bearer of the fire I kindled in the unseen, now made to blaze in the open, not to light yourself, but to illuminate the souls wandering in the night. So, my beloved, do not weep for what I have removed. Thank me, for that loss is mercy made visible. Those tears are the very place where the new seed is germinating. And this relocation, though not gentle, is the confirmation that you are not being buried but planted. I am doing a great work in the midst of chaos. A cleansing is underway, not with noise, but with a shaking to the foundations. I am overturning what has taken places that do not belong to them. The idols exalted above my name, the altars built on greed and hypocrisy, the systems clothed in religion, yet denying true power, all are trembling under my hand. I am silent no longer. I am tolerant no longer of false representation. Everything built on pride will no longer stand. I am sweeping clean, not to burn all to ashes, but to free those I have chosen from the very beginning. And child, in the midst of this shaking, you will not be left behind. You will not be swept away with the storm. I have prepared a refuge for you. In the fissures of the world I have carved out a cleft in the rock to hide you, not so you may avoid, but so you may be covered in my protection. You will see strongholds collapse. You will watch reputations fall like dust. You will hear the cries from places once thought safe. But you will not be harmed, for you are not like the rest. From the very beginning I marked you. Before anyone knew your name, before you knew how to call mine, I chose you. I placed a spiritual mark upon your soul. This is why you have never truly blended in. It was not failure, it was consecration. You could not merge with the crowd because within you was always a whisper saying, "This is not your place." I have closed doors, others entered easily, not to make you feel excluded, but to keep your portion pure, unmixed, undefiled. I have withheld you from things that seemed good. I have slowed your steps compared to others. I have lengthened your journey not because I am harsh, but because I am keeping you clean in a world full of mixture. You cannot carry what I am about to entrust to you if you live as though you have no consecration. Those I use extraordinarily are those I keep quietly. Do not despise your hidden years. In that anonymity I have given you clarity, eyes to see, ears to hear, and a heart sensitive to me. And now, yes, now I am shaking the ground. Not to make you afraid, but to break the invisible chains that have bound your soul. There are curses unspoken, yet still gripping your feet. There are emotional prisons, generational mindsets, silent agreements the enemy has used to suffocate what I placed in you. But this shaking is for freedom. I have not come to repair the old system, I have come to tear down and rebuild. To cause what was buried deep within you to spring up again, to breathe life into dreams once extinguished, to raise you. My marked one up as though born anew. Yet to pass through this transition you must be awake. This is not the time for spiritual slumber, not the time to wait for others to lead. I am speaking and I am waiting for your reply. If you close your eyes and pretend not to see, you will lose your way in the very journey designed for you. You must open your eyes. You must discern the time. You must listen for my voice amidst the noise. Distinguish between my voice and the voice of pressure of the crowd of those who have lost their reverence. In this season of shaking those who can hear my voice, these will stand. Not only must you be awake, you must walk in wisdom. Not the wisdom of man, but the wisdom born of the fear of me. Ask me before you act. Wait for my direction before you step. For in this moment, small decisions will shape great destinies. I will lead you step by step. I will teach you how to choose relationships, how to steward your time, how to guard your heart from emotional entanglements. Wisdom will be the safety line that keeps you from needless falls. I do not only want to lift you up, I want you to remain in that place. This is a serious hour, but also a season of opening. What was locked will be unlocked. Territories once occupied by the enemy will be restored. But only the awake and the wise will see and enter. Your part is to be ready. My part is to shake everything to make the way. Remember, child, you have been set apart not to be isolated, but to be sent. Not to live differently for your own sake, but to bring light into the places where others have lost hope. While the world trembles, you will stand firm. While systems collapse, you will be kept. Not because you are greater, but because you are mine. And that is why you will not be swallowed by the shaking, but will rise steadier than ever. My beloved, I know your heart is stirred at the sight of opening doors, of invitations, of what seem like great opportunities. But hear me, not every open door is from me. Not every transition is a step forward in my kingdom. There are things dazzling to the eyes of man, but in my eyes they are merely traps disguised with false light. In this season of movement, I need you more alert than ever. I am lifting you, but for that very reason the enemy lurks with easy choices, shorter paths, alliances that seem right. There will be promises that sound sweet yet are hollow, for I am not there. There will be those who speak of me, use my name, but do not carry my mind. They will invite you to join in, to step into greatness, but greatness is not my mark unless it bears the holy presence and peace of the Holy Spirit. My child, discernment in this season is not optional. It is the compass for survival, for the enemy no longer comes with swords and spears, but with invitations in the name of the Lord. He does not hinder by intimidation, but by diverting you just slightly enough to steer you off course from the purpose I have set for you. He will not frighten you, but distract you. And it is precisely that distraction which appears spiritual that is the most dangerous of all. I do not mix. I do not blur. I do not lead through confusion. You will not have to strain too hard to guess my will, for I will make it known to your heart with a peace that surpasses all understanding. Do not let the urgency of circumstances cause you to dismiss the gentle whisper within. Be still, listen. Whenever you remain uncertain, whenever your heart lacks peace, do not move. For where I dwell, there is enduring peace. Learn the way I lead. I am never in a hurry. I am never frantic. I am not swayed by the lure of position or fame. You do not need to advance in the eyes of the world. You only need to walk in the place I have appointed for you. For there I have already prepared everything you need: the relationships, the provision, the influence, and the shelter from flaming arrows. You need not fight for a seat at any other table, for your table has been set in the presence of your enemies. I am the one who goes before you. I am the one who prepares. I am the one who grants clarity, and when you walk according to that peace, not driven by emotion, not by greed, not by praise nor regret, you will witness my hand moving supernaturally. What I am about to lead you into will not come through compromise, but through obedience, not by human strength, but by my grace. Not because of your skill, but because you chose to follow the guidance of my Spirit, who will never lead you to the wrong place, the wrong people, or the wrong time. Are you willing to walk in true peace? Not the peace that comes from comfortable circumstances, but from the quiet yet undeniable confirmation within your spirit. If you choose that peace, I promise you will not stray. You will not regret, and you will arrive exactly where I destined you to be before you were woven in your mother's womb. For I did not begin your mission today. I began it before time itself. And I am still bringing it to completion, perfectly, gloriously, step by step, on one condition: that you will listen and that you will obey. Do not fear starting over. Do not let the uncertainty of the unseen keep you behind. For you do not stand at the starting line alone. You are not empty-handed. You are not walking by chance. You are not lost. My beloved, I am walking with you. No beginning with me is ever a meaningless repetition. No starting again in my hands is ever wasted. For you are beginning anew, not with empty hands, but with hands that have held experience, have shed. Tears, have been crushed by pain, yet still have strength to be lifted up to receive the new thing I have prepared. I am not calling you back to the old road. I am leading you into a new season where nothing is outdated, nothing is a copy, nothing is left over from another. Everything I have for you bears the mark of freshness. Lands you never thought you could tread, pure waters, not stagnant in old wells, ideas not borrowed from old systems, relationships born, not from striving for approval, but from connection, by my Spirit. You do not have to live off scraps, for I am not the God of just enough. I am the God of abundance. I do not recycle grace. I create, I make new, and all things new are coming. Yes, you will have new wells, not ones you must dig again where jealousy and strife once filled them. You will have new land, not the ground fought over, but the territory I have preserved for this appointed time. You will have new oil, not the old oil drained dry from being poured out in vain, but a fresh anointing from the very courts of heaven, enough to walk without depletion. You will have new provision, not by the old methods you used to calculate, but in ways that will surprise you, making you lift your eyes and declare, "This could only have come from the Lord." I will give you new vision, not to alter the past, but to see clearly the future I have etched into your soul. And you will have new strength, not from forcing yourself forward, but from my life flowing into the deepest places within you, where you were once empty, broken, and ready to give up. My child, I will not merely restore what you lost, I will replace, renew, and multiply. You thought you needed to regain what was taken, lost, honor, stolen trust, severed connections. But I say to you, you do not need to restore them, for I am creating something greater than what has been. I am the one who gives new beginnings, not one who collects the fragments of the past to glue them with weak adhesive. I do not patch, I resurrect, and what I am doing is not small. For every year the devourer has consumed, for every season you thought was wasted, for every opportunity stolen by envy, neglect, or manipulation, I am pouring back double, not merely repayment, but redemption of far greater value. You will see abundance, but the most precious gift is not what you will receive, but who you will become while you wait. You remained steadfast when others walked away. You kept yourself pure when compromise was the easier choice. You chose faithfulness when obscurity surrounded you. And it is these very things that have opened the door for me to pour out what has never been before. I have seen every night you wrestled with loneliness, with sleeplessness, with the aching question of your journey's true meaning. I have not overlooked it. For every unseen tear, every unfinished prayer, every time you placed your hand over your heart and whispered, "Lord, please don't let me let go," I have heard. And I promise you a season is coming when the peace that surpasses all reason will flood your heart. Not because everything around you is smooth, but because you know beyond doubt that I am holding all things in my hands. That peace will not be shaken by bad reports, by human words, or by sudden changes. It will stand because it comes from me. I have not forgotten the relationships that wounded you, those you trusted who turned away, the false embraces, the empty promises. I do not deny that pain, I see it, but I will not let you remain there. I will send to you those who carry my spirit, those who do not envy what I have placed within you, but protect it as their own calling. Those who will not exploit, distort, or place conditions on love. They will not come merely to make you feel better, but to walk with you in mission. I did not design you to fight alone, and I will not let you live your life trapped in suspicion of every heart. I will send those who know how to speak life when you are weary, who keep their word when you are silent, who lift you up when you are worn. Do not fear the new. Do not cling to what once made you proud but is now dead. Let me enlarge your capacity for faith, for vision, for love, and for trust. For what is coming will require more. But I do not only require, I always prepare before I entrust. And now you have been prepared. So step out, do not search for the old. Do not wait for someone to prove your worth. Do not seek permission to live fully in what I have called you to. For when I declare I will do a new thing, it will not come from old history but from heaven itself, where no one can touch, no one can hinder, and where I alone decide what will be birthed and what will die. And I have decided you are beginning a new thing. You have asked me many times for a clear sign. Countless nights in the silence away from people you pleaded, "Lord, if it is truly you, please confirm. Please give me a sign that I am not lost." I have heard, and I have always answered, but not in the way you expected. You have waited for blinding lights from heaven, for thunderous calls breaking through your mind. But my child, I do not always speak through the wind or the fire. I often come as a gentle whisper in the heart of the still one. Look back. Let your heart step away from the whirlwind of all that is happening. Have you felt uneasy in the very place where once you found rest? Has something within you been quietly shifting, not loudly, not clearly, but persistently, so that you cannot return to what was? That is not lostness. That is the sigh of my spirit within you, pulling you out of a place whose time has expired into the new journey I have already prepared. I have been in what you thought was random. I have been present in the closed door you fought so hard to keep open. I have been there in the moments you felt empty, in places once full of joy. Those instincts you thought were just a feeling, that was me, nudging gently, pulling your soul toward a different path, but you did not notice, because you were waiting for a clearer sign. And while you were looking for the extraordinary, I was patiently standing in the quiet corner of your heart, waiting for you to be still enough to hear me speak. You have asked me, "Where are you?" And I answer, I am right here, still speaking. You have simply stopped hearing clearly, not because I have ceased to speak, but because so many other voices have drowned mine out. The voice of fear, the voice of others' expectations, the voice of your own desire to hold on to what is familiar. All have weighed upon your heart, making it hard to discern which is mine, which is yours, and which is the world's. Of note, my child, let me teach you again the sacred art of listening, not with your ears, but with a quiet heart, not in haste, but in abiding. I want to speak to you not only so you will know the way, but so you will know me. For more important than knowing what to do is knowing who is walking with you. And I, the one who spoke the universe into being, choose to whisper to you because I want to be close enough that you must willingly grow still to hear. You do not need to run everywhere seeking more confirmation. What you have been sensing all this time, this is the confirmation. I place those stirrings within you not to torment you, but to awaken the faith that has slept. That restlessness is not instability, it is heaven's gentle reminder that it is time for you to move. Let me strip away the noise that has covered your mind. Let me lead you into the quiet place, not to isolate you, but to commune with you more intimately. If you wish to hear me clearly, you must be willing to step away from the crowd. If you desire to enter into certainty, you must be willing to let go of the need for others' approval. True affirmation does not come from applause, but from the whisper in the secret place, and I am waiting for you there. Not tomorrow, not next week, but right now. When you lay your heart down, I will lift your soul up. When you cease striving for the world's validation, you will see, I have never left. It is only that your heart has been too full to hear my call from deep within. You must make room for the new, but the new cannot live upon the fractured foundation of the old. You cannot expect to see revival while your heart is still cluttered with the fragments of old dreams, dead missions, and titles I never gave you. I cannot pour new wine into old wineskins. You will lose both. Therefore, the first thing you must do in this season of transition is not to demand, but to clear space. Not to clamor for something greater, but to be willing for me to take away what once seemed important, but no longer carries life. I know what I am asking you to release is not easy. They were once part of your journey, even blessings in their time. There are titles that have clung to you like skin and breath. You were once known as that person tied to that role, that reputation, that position. But my child, what was true in the old season may not be true in this one. I will not permit you to build a house upon a mission that has expired. If you cling to it simply because it once worked, you will unknowingly reject the new thing I long to give you. I am inviting you out of old structures, not to leave you disoriented, but to draw you into the clarity you have long desired. There are places you have called safe that were in truth merely familiar. Relationships that once helped you survive the wound yet never allowed you to be healed. Environments that once sheltered you in weakness but now confine you to an outdated version of yourself. Let them go. Do not mourn what I have removed. If you cling to where I no longer dwell, you will find yourself falling behind in a journey destined for you to lead. I am pruning. This is not punishment. It is proof you can still bear fruit. One who no longer bears fruit needs no pruning. But you are still alive, still capable of spiritual fruitfulness, still holding what I long to release. So I cut. I strip away. I pare down. I do not do it in anger. I do it in love. For I see what is keeping you from reaching further. I see which branch drains your life, yet yields nothing. I do not want you entangled in a tangle of leaves for display alone. I want you to bear true fruit, the sweet fruit that grows from deep within when you are fully yielded. Yet the fruit I seek is not only for the hidden place. I did not make you to be beautiful in the prayer room yet wither before men. I want your fruit to be tasted by others, so they may know I am good. Your patience in the dark will become the comfort for others when they are lost. Your obedience in delay will become the encouragement for those whose spirits are troubled. I am shaping you not only for yourself, but for those you will touch. Your fruit will feed the hungry souls you have yet to meet, but for such a harvest, you must allow me to break the ground. I do not sow upon soil that has not been tilled. I will break apart the soil of your heart, where it is still hard, where you have not let me touch. It may be the fear of failure. It may be the notion of control. It may be the self, subtle yet persistent, quietly steering you away from my will. I will touch these places, not to shame you, but to free you. I will bring you through a bare season, not to shame you for lacking fruit, but to prepare you to bear the kind of fruit heaven has been waiting for. And when you let me do this, when you allow my pruning, I will add new nourishment. I will draw in the light. I will make more room for your roots to go deep. Do not fear when those around you cannot understand what you are letting go. Do not retreat when the world measures your worth by what you seem to lose. They cannot see the roots. They only see the branches. But I, the sower, I see the hidden place, and it is there I am at work. Beloved, this is not the time to bow your head in trembling before what is changing. This is not the season to shrink back from what is yet unknown. This is the moment for faith, true, unshakable faith, the kind that clings not to outcomes, that demands no answers before stepping forward, but clings only to me. Not built upon what eyes can see or ears can hear, but upon the one who never changes. I, your Lord, still writing your life story with my hand slowly, surely, line by line, even when the page before you remains unclear. Do you think I have brought you this far only to abandon you mid-journey? Am I not the one who began it all? Do you think I would build a house and neglect its foundation, plant a seed and forsake the harvest? No, my child. I never begin what I do not intend to finish, fully and gloriously. You are in a season of transition, and it is this that makes all within you tremble. But remember, transition always comes with temporary chaos, while faith always roots itself in eternal stability. Look back at how you trusted me when you had nothing but a promise. When every door was shut, when all turned away, when every dream lay in ashes, yet you chose to believe. Not because you saw the path, but because you saw me. Not because you had a solution, but because you held to the one who never changes. So now, when the winds rise again, when the old falls away to make room for the new, why let fear overpower what faith once held firmly? Do you remember the famine years, when you did not know what you would eat tomorrow, where you would live, how you would survive? Did I not keep you? Did I not quietly provide, skillfully arrange, and bring you through with honor, if I was with you in lack? Will I not all the more be with you in harvest? You are not fading into obscurity. You are being moved to a new field. And the harvest I have prepared for you will not come from striving or calculation, but from the faithfulness poured out quietly in the driest of days. I do not need your faith in the light. I need your faith in the dark. Faith is not a pleasant feeling. Faith is not blind optimism. Faith is action, stepping though the ground still shakes, standing though your heart still trembles, waiting though the skies stay silent. It is this kind of faith that will let you see what no one else sees, touch what no one else dares dream. And I, your Father, the one who placed that flame within you, I will fan it into fire. I will keep it burning, and I will make it a light for others wandering in the night. So, my child, do not tremble at change. Do not doubt when the emotions no longer soar as before. Do not judge me by the delay you now see, for my timetable is not yours. When you think all is being postponed, it is when I am enlarging the vessel to hold the blessing to come. Everything you thought was lost, silenced, or hopeless, I am gathering, arranging, and will restore, not only at the right time, but in the right measure, with the right people, in the right season, in the right way. I alone see the whole of your journey, from the beginning to the place you have yet dared imagine. And I am leading, not to test you without cause, but to build in you a foundation that cannot be shaken. For what is coming will not be merely personal restoration. It will be a season of influence, where you will reap not only for yourself, but for the hungry souls around you. You will see lands you never dared to dream of. Doors denied to others will open before you, not for your name, not for your skill, but because my name is stamped upon your forehead. You will step into places others have abandoned, not because you are stronger, but because I have gone ahead preparing the way. I have softened hearts, once hard systems, once closed spirits, once guarded, all because I have appointed the time for your name to be spoken as a testimony of my power and kindness. You will find yourself walking through unfamiliar lands, where no one knows you, where no one understands who you are. But do not fear, for I never send you ahead of me. I always go before you. Before you arrive, I am already there. Before you speak, I have sown seeds in the listener's heart. Before you lift your hand to act, I have prepared the ground for that act to bear fruit. Nothing you face is beyond my sight. Everything is arranged with precision. The place, the people, the timing. You think you are feeling your way through unknown territory, but in truth you are walking upon a map I myself have drawn. Do not let the strangeness of the landscape make your heart waver. Do not let the initial silence make you think you've been abandoned. I am there, not only beside you, but within you. Every step you take, I take with you. Every decision you make in prayer, I guide. And even when you do not clearly feel me, Even when the headwinds blow strong, even when darkness surrounds, my presence has never left. I am not the father who pulls his hand away when you need it. I am not the sender who turns his face. I am the one who promised to be with you to the very end of the age. That word still holds true, and you are living in its fulfillment now. You are my instrument, which means that every detail in your life has been shaped for a purpose far greater than yourself. The failures that seemed random have forged in you humility. The relationships that broke apart, which you thought unnecessary, have taught you to discern the genuine from the counterfeit. Even the years that seemed off course were a classroom I allowed to teach you what no curriculum could ever teach. Every closed door was part of the plan. Every turn bore my fingerprints. I do not toy with your destiny. You are not a game in the hands of fate. I do not roll dice to see what might happen. No, my beloved. Everything about you has been designed with clear intent. You were created for a purpose, preserved for a reason, prepared for a moment I have appointed. And here is the wonder: you are living in that very moment. The moment when preparation meets divine arrangement. Do not underestimate your journey simply because it looks unlike anyone else's. The unusual turns you have taken are exactly what set you apart. The lessons others cannot understand, you have lived them. The pains others have never touched, you have overcome them. And all of this makes you an irreplaceable instrument for the unique mission I am unfolding. Do not compare yourself to anyone, for you were not made to imitate. You are one of a kind, forged specifically for this time, this place, this people. I have chosen you. Not because you are perfect, but because you are willing. Not because you are qualified, but because I am the one who qualifies you. And I do not choose the wrong person. Even when you have doubted yourself, even when others have doubted you, I have never wavered. When I laid my hand upon your life, I saw the whole journey. I knew you would stumble, but I also knew you would rise. I knew there would be nights you would weep, but I also foresaw the moment you would sing praise in the darkness, and that, beloved, moves heaven itself. So do not be afraid to step into unfamiliar territory. Do not wait until everything is clear before you move forward. Clarity comes in obedience, not in over-analysis. Take the step, even if it trembles, even if your heart is anxious. For I do not require you to be certain, I only ask you to trust me. When your foot touches the ground I have prepared, you will find it firm. When you speak the words I have placed in your heart, you will see other hearts soften. When you act under my leading, you will see doors open in ways no one can shut. You do not walk alone. You are not relying on your own strength. You have not arrived here by accident. Before you were born, I saw this day. Before you made a plan, I had a design. And when you still thought of yourself as worthless, I saw you as the bearer of my glory to the place I had destined. Hold this truth deep within you, as if engraved in stone, as if etched into your very bones. What I have promised I will fulfill. No word from my mouth falls to the ground without bearing fruit. No decree I have spoken returns void. No matter how many voices of doubt surround you, no matter the moments when you yourself waver wondering if you were truly chosen, know this: I am able. I am not limited by your smallness, nor swayed by the skeptical gaze of the world. I am faithful. I am the Lord who never fails to keep his appointment. You carry oil upon your life, not the kind easily obtained through rituals or teaching. This oil was bought at a high price through lonely nights in utter isolation, through prayers no one heard, through seasons of being misunderstood, slandered, abandoned. No one saw what you endured. No one heard the sobs behind the closed door, but I saw, and I gathered every tear, mingled with your obedience, and created an oil that cannot be manufactured, an oil that breaks yokes, sets captives free, and brings light to places no one dares to go. Now you carry something that cannot be learned in any classroom. The rooms you will enter, many have gone there with degrees, with titles, with fame, but you will enter with something money cannot buy: the presence entrusted by heaven. The anointing upon you will change the atmosphere. It will awaken dry souls. It will shatter structures that have kept people in spiritual blindness, not because of your skill, but because I have chosen you. not because you are exalted, but because you have endured the refining fire in the place no one notices. What I have placed upon you cannot be taught by words summarized in sermons or replicated by formula. It was birthed in the secret place where only you and I were present, where there was no applause, no sharing, where you learned to stand without human backing. There, you learned to recognize me, not by feelings, but by faith. You learned to wait, not because you had no choice, but because you were convinced, my word is never late. And now what I have done in the dark, I will reveal openly before the eyes of men. The doors that once slammed shut in your face, I will open, not so you may lift your head in pride, but so the world will bow, in acknowledgement, it was I who did it. I will lead you into places where once you were rejected, not for revenge, but for the restoration of righteousness. The light within you will not be blinding, but just enough to guide souls who have lived too long in shadow. Your voice will not be loud, but deep enough to reach the very core of brokenness. Your steps will not be noisy, but the places you enter will never remain the same, because the oil is upon you. Remember that oil did not come from luck. It is not the result of being in the right place at the right time. It was formed through every pain, every abandonment, every season you thought heaven had forgotten you. But heaven did not forget. I never forgot. I have kept record, I have watched, I have counted every fall and every time you rose again. No one affirmed you then, but I marked you among thousands. That oil is a seal. That oil is a promise. That oil is power contained in a faithful soul. Now I say to you, rise, be bold. Step into the place I send you, without explanation, without defense, without seeking approval. I am your confirmation. I am your foundation. When you open your mouth, my spirit will speak. When you lay your hands, my oil will flow. When you pray, the heavens will respond. Not because of you, but because of my name upon you. You are not ordinary. You are entrusted. I did not anoint you to remain still. I anointed you to touch the deepest, most broken, most hidden places and transform them into dwelling places of life. I will make you the answer to problems no one dares confront. I will make you the first to step into lands no one has yet walked, not so you become the center, but so my name is made glorious. My presence in you will shake, will change, will restore, for this is greater than you. What I am doing is not only to heal you, restore you, or answer your personal desires, but to place you in the flow of a plan that surpasses every personal limit. I did not call you merely to be better. I called you to be greater. And that greatness is not a position, not a spotlight, not fame, but obedience in depths never before reached, transformation that is no longer for self, but for the movement of my kingdom. Through your life, I will settle you. There will be a place where you will set your foot and know, this is the place I have appointed. A space that is not only physical, but a spiritual state of steadfastness where you no longer wander, no longer chase, no longer measure yourself against anyone, but not yet. For this season is not for pitching tents, but for packing up and preparing to move. This is not a season to anchor down, but to follow my steps closely, even if that means leaving behind what was once considered secure. Therefore, be ready to move. I do not want to see you linger on the shore of what is past when the door ahead is opening. Delay is no longer a blessed waiting, but a bondage, if you keep clinging to what I have called finished. I will change direction not because I change my mind, but because revelation is lifting to a higher level. Be flexible in faith, be soft in mind, be light in step, for this moment has no room for stubbornness disguised as loyalty. Be ready to hear my voice above every other, above reason, above experience, above those who were important counselors in the last season. You cannot step into the new if you still await confirmation from those I no longer use to guide you. Be alert. I am speaking not in a loud voice, but in a whisper within the storm. Only those who truly know how to be silent can hear it. And you know how, for I have trained you through many lonely nights. Pack up, my child. Not just your physical belongings, but the luggage of your mind. Wrap up the old thoughts, the old definitions of success, the measurements that once drained you. Throw off the should society placed on your shoulders like heavy armor. I do not use human units of measure. I do not choose by rank degree or online influence. I choose by the willingness to let go of what no longer serves my kingdom. Clear your heart as well. The hidden corners left unswept, I am shining light into them. Not to expose, but to cleanse. The expectations left unhealed, bring them to me. I do not want you to step into the new place with a heart still full of doubt, shame, and fear of abandonment. Where I am taking you there is no room for old fears, no space for comparison, no capacity for compromise. The doubts of yesterday, though they were once part of the journey, can no longer go with you. Leave them behind. Let me cut them off. Let me free you from what you thought was part of you but was only the product of wounds. You will feel slightly unbalanced. That is a good sign. For if you feel fully in control, it means you have not gone far from the old shore. But I am taking you into deeper waters. There your old confidence will not save you. Only your trust in me will keep you afloat. This is not the place for you to thrash about. It is the place to surrender and flow in my current. Prepare not just to depart, but to become. And I promise you this, everything you give up for, my name will not be lost. Every baggage you leave behind, every expectation you set down, every dream you lay at my feet, I will transform into a reward of eternal worth. Not all will be returned in its old form, but it will be returned in a way that perfectly fits the new person I am shaping you to be. You will not enter the new land with empty hands. You will arrive with an enlarged, heart-sharpened vision, steady feet, and an unshakable certainty. Beloved child, open your eyes and your heart, for this is the age of the new. Not the old dressed up, not the familiar path painted over, but something that has never happened before, never been permitted to be revealed, never been released until now. And that time is the very present in which you live. You are not simply stepping into another stage, you are setting foot on a land never before explored by humankind, where I have hidden spiritual treasures reserved for the faithful. Eyes have not seen, ears have not heard, hearts have not imagined, for I have kept back a portion of my glory, not to withhold it, but to reserve it for those willing to walk the whole road of suffering, to endure the refining fire, to refuse the easy way. And now you are the one I am unlocking. You will not only behold the new, you will walk in it, not with worldly self-confidence, but with holy reverence, knowing this is not your work, but my movement. The delay has ended. The years that seemed wasted, the dreams deferred, the promises yet unseen, I have not forgotten a single one. They were not canceled, only delayed for the appointed season. And now that season has come. Shaking is spreading everywhere, not to intimidate, but to purify. I am shaking everything not built on the true foundation. I am dividing light from darkness. I am removing voices that speak in my name but do not carry my mind. And in the midst of this upheaval, you will not be lost, you will rise. You were not born to stand on the sidelines as a witness or a spectator, but to be chosen to step into the current flowing from my throne. You will not merely observe what I am doing, you will be part of it. I will put my words in your mouth, my fire in your bones, my light in your eyes and boldness in your steps. You will enter places others refuse. You will speak what others dare not. You will reach souls others have abandoned, for I send you not by human standard, but by the seal of heaven. So do not fear, do not look back. Gather the strength left in you, though it may seem little, and offer it to me. I do not require much. I require what is true. A broken yet faithful heart is worth more than 1,000 empty songs. Rise not in pride, but in the posture of the called. Be courageous, not because you know the path, but because you know the one who directs it. Stand in reverence, for what I am entrusting to you is not small. Yet do not retreat, for I send no one without backing. I am backing you with my power, with unseen angelic armies, with invisible shifts in the hearts of the powerful and in the hardest of circumstances. You are not alone, you are not reckless, you are obedient, and obedience in the appointed time will always lead to miracles. Feel my breath closer than ever before. Let my fire not only warm you, but burn away every remaining fear. I do not merely surround you with my presence, I clothe you in fire. Fire of holiness, fire of commission, fire of separation. fire that goes before you, and fire that is the glory behind you. You are no longer who you were. You have walked through too much to turn back. Do not seek permission from others. You have been chosen. Do not wait for the earth's confirmation. Heaven has already sealed it. Do not measure your worth by acceptance or rejection, for I, myself, establish your mission. And now, beloved, I declare again, clearly, decisively, undeniably, I am sending you, not to represent religion, but to reveal myself. Not to build reputation, but to build the kingdom. Not to showcase ability, but to display power. Not to prove anything, but to glorify my name in a generation barren and bewildered. Go forth, bearer of boldness, one forged in darkness, one who has wept alone yet obeyed one. I called from the womb, whose flame upon the head has never died, only hidden in unseen seasons. Now I call that fire to rise. I call your voice to be lifted. I call your feet to move. For the season of the new has arrived. Rise, child, not in arrogance, but in trembling reverence, for you know the one who sends you is not man, but I. Gather every remaining strength after the long battles, even the smallest fragments, a flicker of hope, a spark of courage, a fragment of faith, and I will breathe upon them like a flame in the wilderness. Be brave, not because you feel enough, but because I am behind you, within you, before you. I do not send you to face the world alone. I send you to reveal myself through your very life. You do not go without backing. All of heaven is with you. Your whispered prayers have shaken heaven's gates. Your steadfastness when no one defended you has been recorded. Your choice of truth over compromise has been seen. And for this I now cover you in fire, not fire to destroy, but to sanctify, anoint, and protect. You are not exposed. You are being strategically positioned, not abandoned, but surrounded by my presence. No weapon forged against you will prosper, for the only weapon that can defeat the anointed is fear. And I have not given you a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. Remember, attack is not proof you are on the wrong path. It is confirmation you are on the right one. If the enemy saw no threat in you, he would leave you alone. But because you carry light, he must try to make you doubt. Because you carry an anointed voice, he must try to silence you. But do not worry. I have spoken, and I do not speak in vain. No curse, no insinuation, no prejudice spoken from human lips will take root in your life. I have broken every invisible shackle that weighed on your family. I have shattered the silent curses tied to your bloodline. Now you walk in a spiritual realm the enemy cannot control. His schemes in darkness will be exposed. His hidden blades behind sweet words will break before they touch you, not because you are strong, but because I am with you. And with you is not a distant spiritual concept, it is near tangible, constant, active. When you need guidance, I am the cloud by day. When darkness surrounds, I am the pillar of fire by night. When you worry about provision, I am the one who fed my people 40 years in the wilderness without swollen feet or torn clothes. When you are weary, I will send angels with bread as I did for Elijah. When you are alone, I will send companions not to fill emptiness, but to lift the mission. I will never leave you. That is not an emotional promise, it is an eternal covenant. When others walk out, I step in. When the world forgets your name, I still call you by the name I gave you. When you doubt yourself, I remain confident in you. When you are weak, I do not change my mind. Nothing in you surprises me, for I know all. I know the weaknesses, the failures, the wounds, and yet I call you my instrument. My child, if I did not withhold my only son for you, will I hold back anything good? So walk without fear, rise without turning back, speak without retreat. I have given you my spirit, and that spirit does not enslave or imprison, but frees you to live with authority. I will provide all you need, not on your schedule, but on mine. I will lead not with noisy declarations, but with steady silence. I will protect not with visible walls, but with the invisible hand that has upheld the earth itself. And there will come a time when all voices are hushed, when arguments cease, when speculation about you no longer needs an answer, when all will have to look at you and acknowledge, this one has walked with God. Not for fame, not for outward glory, but because there is something upon your life that fleshly language cannot define, a presence that cannot be imitated, an atmosphere that travels with you, woven through every glance, every word, every step. They will not be able to deny you are one preserved, protected, and guided through storms, through ruins, through what seemed to be the end. They will wonder how you did not break when all around you fell, how you kept your heart from bitterness when betrayed, how you stayed silent when misunderstood, buried, forgotten, and the answer will not come from you but from me. For I have held you with an unseen hand the world cannot see. While others saw failure, I saw steadfastness. While others thought you rejected, I was setting you apart. In your silence I have been roaring in the unseen realm to establish what no one can tear down. Yes, my beloved child, the time is no longer far away. It is no longer a vague promise, no longer someday, no longer when the time comes. It is here. It is now. I am moving. In the darkness I am drawing the blueprint. In the silence I am laying the firm foundation. In days that may seem still and uneventful, I am shifting the universe to make way for you to step into what was appointed for you before the foundation of the world. Nothing in your life is by chance. No crack is without purpose. Everything that has happened, every tear, every disappointment, every unfinished dream is being gathered into my hands to weave together a picture no human mind can fully explain. But before the new floods in like a mighty torrent, I teach you this: always be ready. Not with a shallow eagerness, but with the solemn preparation of one who is about to enter the holy sanctuary. Your readiness is not in your outward appearance, but in the posture of your heart. It is not about what you do to earn worthiness, but about making room so you will not miss me when I come, for my presence does not always arrive with trumpets and drums. Sometimes the new comes as gently as a whispering breeze, and only those who have ears to listen will catch it in time. Keep your heart tender, child. Do not let wounds turn it into stone. Do not let the wisdom of the world harden you with doubt. Let your heart be like rich, soft soil ready to receive the seed I am about to plant. For the new thing I prepare cannot take root in a heart choked by suspicion, bitterness, or pride. Tenderness does not make you weak, it makes you fertile ground where glory can grow and multiply. Keep your hands pure. Not because I love only the perfect, but because I entrust authority to those I can trust. Do not use your hands to cling to what I have released. Do not rebuild what I have torn down. Keep your hands free from blood. Do not retaliate. Do not manipulate. Do not bargain away your soul. Let your hands touch only what I give. Build only what I instruct. Lift up only what I love. For it is these very hands that will lay hold of things far greater than anything you have ever asked for. Keep your ears open. Do not be swept away by the noise of the world, the rush of life, or the predictions of others. There are times when I speak things no one understands. There are moments when my words run against logic. But to you, the one I have chosen, I desire to speak directly. You need no system, no human approval to hear me. I am teaching you to listen not only with your ears, but with reverence, with spiritual sensitivity, with an unceasing hunger. Every time you grow still to hear me, I pour fresh oil into your lamp. Keep your eyes lifted. Do not let them grow dim from the troubles around you. Do not let people steal your spiritual sight. Look up to where your help comes from. Look up to where I am moving. When all on earth is shaken, you need not fear, for your gaze is anchored in the heavens. I do not want you to look around to compare. I want you to look up to walk in the wisdom that comes from me. For where your eyes are fixed there, your faith is formed. And after all, know this unchanging truth. I, the Lord your God, am not only near. I am not a distant idea. I am not a figure confined to pages. I am the one walking with you each day. I am guiding you with the light of my word. I am shaking what I did not build. I am rebuilding your life not with old bricks, but with materials made of tears, obedience, and faithfulness. And I, the unchanging one, am blessing you. I am giving you something new, not an updated version of the old, not a reward for goodness, but the fruit of holy endurance. You have walked through fire, crossed the desert, thirsted in the Spirit without surrendering your faith, and now the rain is coming. The heavens are opening. Heaven's declaration is sounding. The time has come. And you, beloved, marked and called, prepare to receive, not with fear but with awe, not with calculation but with absolute trust. For what is coming will be unlike anything you have known, greater, deeper, stronger, and it will confirm to the world, I am the one who has done this. Therefore, child, do not look back with regret. What has passed, let it flow away with the old. Those who have left, let them belong to a chapter that has closed. You need not cling to pieces that no longer fit the path ahead. I have not led you through fire to leave you in the ashes. Every season of dryness I allowed was not to break you, but to separate you from what does not belong to your true identity. Now as the ground trembles and the old order is overturned, this is not the sign of destruction, it is the signal of birth. Do not fear the stripping away, do not fear the loss. For you are not losing, you are being set free. What is true will remain. What is not from me will fall away. So step forward, resolute, without hesitation, for my hand is holding you. I am the faithful one, and my word never returns void. I did not choose you because you are perfect. I chose you because your heart is tender before me. I know every doubt, every night you wept in secret, every time you wanted to give up but still dragged your feet forward in silence. And it is this that makes me call you beloved. You thought the barren years were proof I had forgotten you, but no, I was engraving you into a story bigger than yourself. Your next step will not open just for you, but for generations. What you do today will be told in seasons when you are no longer here. So live not just for the present. Live as one planting roots for a great forest, as one lighting a fire for a generation yet unborn. You are not alone, and you are not small. For when I am with you, the impossible becomes opportunity. Move forward not with haste, but with certainty. Not under the burden of having to achieve something, but with the deep peace that I, myself, will accomplish it through you. And now, as my wind sweeps through the camps, as the cliffs quake under, my power, listen closely, for you cannot walk without hearing. Every step you take must be guided by my voice, not by human feelings or expectations. Do not rush, but do not delay. Do not shrink back out of hesitation, and do not chase forward out of pressure. Keep your heart upright, your eyes fixed on me. And remember this, beloved, none of your faithfulness is in vain. Not one of your tears has fallen without my count. Not one step in the darkness has been taken without me going before you. I have set destiny upon you. I have marked you with my hand, and I will go with you to the very end. Therefore rise, adjust your armor, lift high the shield of faith. Be ready, for the season of action has come. And I, the Lord your God, am the one who goes before you, who opens the way, and who grants you the victory. Now, my child, bring before me your prayer with all your heart. O great God, I bow my head before you, laying my heart bare without hiding anything. I offer to you my unguarded heart, where every shadowed corner is now illuminated by your light. I feel everything around me shifting, and I myself am being changed deeply, and at times painfully. But Father, I do not wish to resist the movement of your hand. I know I was not made to anchor myself in the old place where I once lived under fear disguised as safety. Please break within me the old habits, the old patterns, the ways of thinking that have kept me from the greater things. Teach me to let go, not in despair, but in steadfast trust. I lay down the titles that once made me proud, but no longer serve your purpose. I release the doors that have been closed, yet I kept trying to pry open. Please renew my heart. Lead me out from the old place, even if it was once a blessing, if now it has become a barrier. I do not want to delay the goodness you intend to bring simply because I am clinging to what is already dead. Please tear down every wall within me. Even if it makes me weep, I still ask you to prune me. O Father, creator of heaven and earth, the one who knows every thought within me, I come now to surrender to you. Touch me with your purifying fire. Remove from me every whisper of doubt that tells me I am not good enough, not strong enough, not worthy to be chosen. I know that in my weakness your power is made perfect, so I will not hide my fragility. I bring to you my cracks, my unfinished places. Please use them for your wonders. Lead me through this shaking without losing myself, yet do not allow me to carry anything that does not belong to the new season. Give me a willing spirit ready to let go, ready to walk forward even if my steps tremble. Teach me to trust, not when the way is clear, but right in the midst of the fog. Block my ears from the noise of the world that I may hear only your voice calling. Wherever you lead me, if you are there, I will follow. Arrange the broken pieces of me in the way only you can. I do not ask for perfection. I ask to live aligned with your will. Beloved Father, who has kept me through every season, now I come trembling yet filled with longing. Please free me from myself, from the stagnation in my mind, from the fear of being hurt, from the old stories etched too deeply. I feel as if my soul is being stripped, painful yet liberating. But if this is the way you refine me, I say yes. I do not want to be one who looks back with regret but never steps forward because I am lost in memories. Teach me to say farewell to places from which you have withdrawn. I do not want to pitch my tent where you meant for me, only to pass through. I want to move with the rhythm of your breath. Break the old systems in my heart, those that make me believe I must do more, strive harder, push further to earn your love. Please renew my relationship with you, a relationship not based on what I do, but on who you are. Teach me to rest in your presence, even in the midst of shaking, for it is there alone that I truly am myself. O Lord Jehovah, the one who speaks, and it comes to pass today, I come not to demand but to yield. I surrender myself wholly into your hands. Shut the doors that do not lead to you, even if they seem right. Open my eyes to see which doors you open and which I have forced. Make my heart sensitive to step into the timing you have appointed. Pour upon me a spirit of alertness that I may not be lulled by comfort or hypnotized by false success. I do not want to move forward in fame yet lose your voice. I do not want success without your companionship. Remove from me comparison, envy, and bitterness, burdens that must not be carried into the new season. Wash me with the living water. Set me upon a firm foundation, not based on who I am, but on who you are. Guard my heart from pride and from harm. Make me steadfast in you and in you alone. Father, who chose me when I was still unformed today, I return bolder yet emptier. I have nothing left to give but a broken heart. But if that heart is enough for you to shape again, then take it. Remove from me the expectations others have placed on me that you never intended for me to carry. Make my heart light, not because the burdens are gone, but because I have learned to surrender completely. Pour into me the courage to walk even without a map. I know that if I walk in your direction, I will never be lost. Burn away the patterns that have held me back. Awaken in me a hunger for you greater than for fame, success, or stability. Teach me to live as one who is chosen, not arrogant but unyielding. Give me a new language to speak words that heal, a new vision to see what others cannot see, and new ears to hear even the whisper of your breath. Almighty God, who never grows weary and never changes today, I thank you not only for the good things that have happened, but also for what seemed like loss. Thank you for letting what I once clung to slip from my hands. Had you not, I would have stayed in the old place, warm yet barren, safe yet small. Thank you for letting people who once mattered leave, because otherwise I would have tied my worth to their words instead of yours. Thank you for delays that seemed unreasonable but were in fact protection. Thank you for the deep hunger in my spirit that has driven me to seek you, for I know only you can fill it. I thank you for not letting my soul wither amidst outward abundance. I am grateful for your silence in the long nights, for in it I learned that true faith is not built on feelings. Thank you for the places I once called prisons, but now see were where you hid me for my safety. I thank you not because I understand all you do, but because I know who is doing it. I worship you not because life is good, but because you are good. Holy Father, who has led me from darkness into light today, I bow not out of lack but out of gratitude. Thank you for not answering every prayer in the way I wanted, for if you had, I would not have learned endurance. Thank you for allowing me to be hurt but not destroyed. Thank you for allowing me to fail but not be shamed. Thank you for choosing to teach me in the valley and not only on the mountaintop. Thank you for your quiet presence that has kept me standing through every season. Thank you for not letting me live by fleeting feelings, but for building me on unshakable truth. I know every small thing you do in my life, even in silence, holds eternal value. And today, as I look back, my heart can only weep because your love is too vast. You have not only saved me, you have kept me, corrected me, and matured me. All from unconditional love. None compares to you. Lord, compassionate and faithful, I praise you today, not because I am blessed, but because you are the blessing. Thank you for opening my eyes to see what is true and what is false. Thank you for shattering the illusions I once thought were truth. Thank you for the spiritual clarity that has changed the way I live, think, and love. I thank you for not staying silent when I strayed, but for correcting my path. Thank you for withholding what I once begged for because you knew it would harm me. Thank you for not leaving me to myself, but for stepping in at the right moment. I am grateful that your heart does not hold my immaturity against me. You have gently shaped me as a potter shapes clay. Though I am cracked, you have not cast me aside. You have remade me more beautiful, stronger, and more aligned with your will. I thank you for being the only one who knows every fracture in me and still says, I choose you. O God, who always keeps his promises, today, I come to thank you not only with words but with my life. Thank you for the winding paths that still led me back to you. Thank you for not tiring when I was slow to understand what you were doing. Thank you for sending the right people at the right time, not only to comfort me but to push me toward my destiny. Thank you for leading me away from the noise to meet you in the quiet. Thank you for using even my enemies to teach me how to stand without bitterness. Thank you that I do not have to prove my worth to anyone because you have already set your seal upon me. Thank you that I do not have to race because you have appointed the time for all things. Thank you that I do not have to be good enough, only surrendered enough. Thank you that among countless souls, you still see me, know me, love me, and use me. My heart overflows with gratitude. I offer this prayer in the holy name of Jesus Christ. Amen. Do not forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so that together we may build a strong community of faith.